Hey, what's up, guys? Here to talk about episode 408 of Breaking Bad, Hermanos. Sorry, I didn't get to post a reaction last night. I was actually at my dad's house watching it with him and my stepmom. They're actually fans of the show, too. So, probably not as big as fans as me. They don't go on YouTube and talk about it or whatever. But I just went over to, drink some beers, eat some pizza, and watch it with them. Um, uh, yeah, so sorry I didn't get the video up. I'm still like kind of amazed and like confused by why people are so into these videos. I mean, it's not like I'm against that. I'm just compared to like anything else that I talk about, like other movies and whatnot. Like I could post a review of a movie that comes out, the day it comes out, and it won't get that many views. But for some reason, people have caught onto these Breaking Bad videos. I don't know why that is. Like, is there like not other people doing them, or I don't know. Anyways, um, this episode, I think of it as like a Gus episode. He doesn't really take out like an amazing amount of screen time in it or whatever, but the parts kind of opens and closes with him, and he kind of dominates it. Like his story kind of dominates the whole thing. Although there is like some great suspense with Walter and Jesse and stuff. Like when Walter is, he goes with Hank to supposedly go to a rock show, and that by that I don't mean like a rock concert. I mean a mineral show or whatever. And Hank's like, nah, we're not going there. We're going to the Chicken Man's place. And he tells him this whole thing, and then Walter like is like freaking out as Hank's telling him this, and he's trying not to let on that he's freaking out, but he's like asking questions like, what the fuck? I thought like honestly, I thought Cranston's like acting was a little off there. It seemed too obvious that he was like nervous about it. Um, but I loved like so then like Hank's making him put like this tracking bug on the car, and pretends to put it on. He goes in the chicken place, and Gus greets him. And I love like Gus tells him to do it, and the way he says he's like do it, or whatever. That was freaking awesome. I love Gus, man. You sometimes forget how much you love Gus because he's been like this menace lurking in the background this season mostly, but he can be very charming. But I mean, he was developed a lot as a character in this episode. It was really cool. Um, and then Walter running over to Jesse's house, freaking out. There's like suspense and stuff where like there's not really things happening. Like Jesse getting up and go to the bathroom, and his phone goes off, and Walter's like running and looking into it. I mean, this show is a master at suspense. I love the speech that Walter gave to the camera in in the meth lab. Like he's assuming that Gus is like always watching this thing, and Gus is watching it. Sometimes they show him watching it, but anyways, yeah. The thing with Jesse and the text though, like I kind of get that like they're trying to make you think that Jesse's switched side because the text is like, the meeting's called off. Something came up, boss is busy or something, and they're trying to make you think, oh, like Jesse is, switched sides. And he's with them, but I don't really get that. I think Jesse's holding back that he's seen Gus because he has seen Gus, but he really didn't have an opportunity to kill him. Last week, if he had tried to kill the dude when they're doing that meeting with like all those fucking thugs around, he would have been dead. So Jesse's looking for the right opportunity to do it, but like he's scared shitless. He fucks it up in any way, he's dead. Um, that's my take on that. And then you get this awesome flashback near the end of the episode where Gus goes to see the old guy in the wheelchair who doesn't talk. He's got the bell, who was like with the cartel, and he must used to be a bigger player, as you find out. And then Gus says, "Is today the day?" And then it flashes back to a meeting that Gus had in the '80s. I'm assuming with the cartel. And this is before Gus was anybody. He had like a chicken place in Mexico. him and his partner had this like chicken place going. His partner was the chef, and Gus ran operations, the business end, and it was really cool to get all this backstory and like an understanding of the beef, how far this beef goes back, and where Gus came from, and all this stuff. Uh, but the cartel, like, and they set up this meeting to talk about the chicken place or whatever. They're telling them, oh, the food's so good, but you're handing out drugs or you're selling drugs to my people or whatever. And Gus is like, no, no, no. I was giving them the samples to show you like this product that we have that we want to do business with you with. And it's really interesting. And it makes sense of why they're selling meth. Because I always wondered, like, why would you sell meth? It just seems like a weird drug. Like, what's the point? But he makes the point. It's all artificial. We can't grow cocaine here in Mexico. You can't grow cocaine in the States. So, this is something you can make in a lab. You're not a middleman. You're making the product. That was cool to like just have that laid out. And he's presenting this idea to the cartel. He's like, I want you to do business with you guys. And you're gonna make you're gonna quadruple, quintuple your profit. And the cartel, for whatever reason, just took offense to the whole thing. And then they shoot his partner, which is weird because they're like, he's like, why should I keep you? I don't need your business, man. Your partner's the one that knows how to cook this stuff. My men say it is very good, but what do I need you for? And Gus is just, sorry I offended you, blah, blah, blah. And then Gus's partner, though, was like, look, man, we're a team. He's my partner. I would be nowhere without him. He gave me the money to go to school and, learn all this chemistry stuff. So, and then, the cartel shoots his partner instead, even though they're threatening to shoot Gus. And then they say to Gus, like, the only reason you're alive right now is because I know who you are. But you're not in Chile anymore. So, don't fuck with me or something. I was like, it made me wonder what, because that was another thing in this episode. Hank couldn't find any record of Gus in Chile. So it's like, and they make reference to it in that scene that's a flashback in the 80s. Like, you're not in Chile anymore. Like, what was Gus doing in Chile that he was such a badass? Or like, he apparently made a name for himself somehow back in Chile that for some reason the cartel decided not to kill him in the first place. And it also like made me think like how Gus was a partner with this guy who got killed. And I was like, kind of like how Walt and Jesse are partner in the same way. And I'm like, does that make Gus less likely to kill Walter Jesse because he sympathizes with them, or more likely to kill one of them because he'll be like, I've been through this shit before, I survived, you guys are gonna fucking live with it, He'll kill Walter and tell Jesse just to cook, which is what my dad thinks, like, but I don't think he wants someone who just knows a recipe. I think he wants Walter because he knows the chemistry. I don't know, I'm just speculating. I don't know if it means anything at all. I mean, Gus will kill people, but will the fact that his partner was killed way back when affect his judgment about these guys he has working for them and their partnership? I don't know. It's just something I thought of. And I also just wonder what the fuck happened in Chile. And then when he's saying it's today, at first I'm thinking maybe he's referring this is the anniversary of when you killed my partner. But then he's like, at the end of the whole flashback, he says to the old guy, and the old guy's drooling and shit. Like, maybe not today, maybe next time or something. So is he threatening this motherfucker? He's basically telling him that I'm gonna fucking kill you one of these days. He's like torturing him by telling him I'm gonna kill you one of these days. That's what I think. And it was cool too. There was a flashback at the beginning that used part of the episode from season 3 where Hank gets shot. But then it goes into the scene that I don't think was in season 3, where Gus approaches the old man. He's basically talking shit to him. He's like, I told you guys to back off and not kill my chemist. Instead, you guys went after DEA Schrader or whatever, and Someone called him at the last minute, and he killed both your motherfucking, or he killed one of them. The other one's dying, and the other one somehow died in the hospital. He's like talking shit to this old guy. So I don't know. Is it like could you have probably cut the episode from the season and still kept move the story forward? Yes. Is it the most exciting episode? No. But it was great to learn the history of Gus and his business and and the history between him and the cartel. It really adds depth to the whole story. So I don't know. Maybe it is necessary. I mean, I think you could have got through the whole season and people would have been fine. It wouldn't be like, oh, well, I want to know more about Gus. But it was cool to learn more about Gus. Um, yeah, but then just based on the previews from next week, it looks like Jesse's still on Walter's side. He says something like, "You kill Walter, you might as well kill me" or some shit. Anyways, I don't know. Let me know what you think about some of the things that like I was wondering. Like, do you think Jesse's still on Walter's side? I think yes. What the fuck did Gus do in Chile? Do you think like the fact that Gus's like good partner was killed way back when will have any effect on his decision making? I don't know. I think that's just something odd I thought up. I think Gus is too cold and calculating. He'll do whatever he has to do. But anyways, it was a good episode. Not no complaints at all. But once again, I'm anxious to see next week's. So, anyways, you know I'll be back next week. I'll probably have some stuff in between. As always, thanks for watching, guys.